Hey crew, we're talking about the formation map today. So I'm going to give you guys a brief overview. Then we're going to jump into routes and how to utilize all of the equipment on this map and some power positions and of course different Easter eggs and tricks that I pull off that you can take your IQ to the next level. Now, if you haven't seen the first video in this sequence, Map Control 101, please go back, watch that video, because there's quite a few things about formation, extra routes, different things we talk about that are pertinent here, and we're just going to leave in that video because this video is already going to be quite long. So let's master this map. Let's go over to the brief overview, and we'll be right back. So an overview of the formation map. So we're going to be covering routes here in a second. We're going to be talking about power plays, and I've even got some clips for you of one of the routes that I run that can be very successful, and then a power play of when you actually can just put a lot of pressure onto the team, and it ends up allowing us to get all 3 flags. So let's talk about just some brief things with the map first. So the map, if you cut it in half, it's symmetrical, right? So on one side versus the other, they're mirror images of each other. On one side of the map, so let's say we start on this side of the map. So we have a spawn here, we have a spawn here, and a spawn there. And that'll come in handy later when we're talking about power positions and where, as you're running your routes, where you may want to end up, especially if a teammate grabs the flag. So the spawns are the same, right? You never spawn anywhere else on the map. These are just your spots. Okay, so we have the spawns out of the way. Again, try to remember that they can spawn here in the middle, right? They can spawn here as well as in these bases, okay? So now, we know the flag is about mid base, so I'm actually going to change that to magenta, is about mid to the second third of the base, and then the score is actually on the other side, in your base in here. We'll talk about different ways how to get there faster. We have our 2 windows marked with X's. We'll be talking about these later. And then all of these other markers here are different pillars, different ramps. And again, we'll have some in-game footage so you can see more of this. But again, each map in front of your flag, you have 2 things you can hide from. You have your windows. Now, with the windows, we know that there's a ramp here. Now, these outcrops here look like ramps, and you can get up them, and I'll show you different ways you can get up there. In fact, there's a sniping position we'll talk about that you can get up on a ledge. Those outcrops here, those are great for hiding behind. On one side of your map, you have 2 tall pillars. On the other side, you have 1 tall pillar in the middle, 2 boxes. And then we have these little L's that we can hide behind. We have L's as we're approaching, we're running a route up the middle or off to the side here. Of course, we have the Jeep here in the middle. It's not a great spot to sit, but we'll talk more about that as we go. And then everything is in reverse. Let's talk about some basic callouts. So I would certainly call this, if this is our base. I split that up into our base right, our base mid, our base left, and then I might even say coming around the back of our base, depending upon the situation. Of course, another call out that I will say is our flag, right? If they're there, our window right or left right. Another call out I'll say is if I see somebody grappling, I'll say grappling right, grappling left, or even grappling under to the right or under to the left. Headed towards mid. So we have mid. I just like to call all of this. Let's get a square actually. I like to call all of this mid. So I'll just say, someone mid in front of Jeep, mid behind Jeep. I might even say something like mid left of Jeep, here, mid right of Jeep, mid behind Jeep, things like that. Now, when it comes to their base, I have a tendency to say right spawn, left spawn, back spawn, right? So right spawn, left spawn, back spawn. I'll even refer to that as if somebody is immediately, say, spawns and heads to the right, I will say something like, right spawn of base. Of course, in reverse, we can say right window, left window. We can say someone's grappling off of the right, just like we said before, off of the left. We've got a sniper from the left. We've got a sniper from the right. I may even say somebody spawned back base right, back base left, right? These callouts are really important so that your teammates know what's going on. And it's really important we keep these callouts short. And again, so we just have our base, their base, mid, and then you can split it up into segments if you want, as long as your teammates know what the heck it is you're saying when you're saying them. So let's talk power positions. So let's do this in kind of a purple. Actually, let's do it in red because it's, a little bit more dramatic. So great power positions. If you can get here on the map. So we can sit by their base, and I actually have a clip of me sitting here and how I can really control a spawn and just give just a ton of pressure. If we can sit in their window, that can be a very powerful position. We can sit in this nook here. The cool thing about this nook is it gives us the chance to look this way, and part of the spawn's this way. But the opposing team, if they spawn over here, they can't see you. It also means that there's a power position here that we can sit behind. Now, in 1v1 fights, of course, we can use the outcrops here as different power positions. If we're, say, shooting across map, a good power position would be to like sit back here, and then you can snipe in if you have a long range rifle. Because it's really tough to hit an angle, especially if you have teammates or opponents rather. Let's say you have opponents coming this way and they're about ready to rush into your base. But if you're sitting here, let's say, and you're sniping, it makes it really tough for them to actually get past mid here unless they're really fast. If they can't get past here, it's hard for them to score, right? Because you're holding them back. Okay, let's talk routes. So a route is just, and if you haven't seen the video, go back. I did a precursor video for this so that all of the map videos, we could just talk about the maps. But in that video, I actually talk about some routes that you can run. I'll talk about them again here. But you need to understand what the routes are and really understand what pressure is before we really start understanding why a route is more important than others, especially when we talk about power positions. But again, so let's talk a route. So if let's say I spawn, let's say I'm going to be magenta, it's just a lot easier to see. So let's say I spawn and I run this way. Most people think, flag here, must get flag. And all they'll do is they'll just go like boom, boom. That's what they're thinking. What I'm thinking about is I need to make sure that I get to a spot, a power position based on the weapons I have. If I have a long range rifle, I can be powerful from back here. If I don't have a rifle, maybe I need to get a little closer. If I have a cinder shot, I can be powerful from here or here or here. Certainly I can be shooting from back here, but there's such a delay to that cinder shot or a spanker that anybody in their base can easily move out of the way because they see it coming. So again, based on your weapons, that's also going to be where your route goes. But again, I want to get to one power position to the next, to the next, to the next. And typically that's going to be, what can I hide behind that isn't going to just disappear? Shields can be very important, and we talk about shields in this coming up. But shields are really just a temporary, holy crap, I'm, here somewhere and I'm getting bombed, or I want to set up right in front of their base or right in front of their flag, or just try to apply pressure. You'll see in the clip that I'll show you when I am talking about power positions, I'm actually able to set a shield in their way right here, and it causes so much mayhem for them. Anyway, so I spawned, I run to this pillar here. If I have a stalker, maybe I try to get to this spot so that I can snipe. Okay? But no matter what, in my route, I am going to run to that spot, even if I only have an assault rifle, whatever, because I'm trying not to be seen. Because you got to understand, they're running their routes too, whichever direction they are. They're going to set up. If a sniper sits right here, they're going to see me if I stay out in the open too much. And that's an easy Hydra. That's an easy stalker. I'm a stalker, a sniper, or a spanker. So it's really easy to die. But assuming I don't have grapples, I'm going to head to this spot. And again, I'm shooting my whole way in. Usually I get to either, this pillar, this spot, or this spot. And I'm going to wait until at least 2 people are dead and I see a clear field of view. So if I'm looking this way and 2 people are dead and I can't see anybody in this vicinity and I can't quite see anybody in here, because I assume maybe they're on either side, maybe I'm getting callouts, and they're over on these sides where the orange is, then I will move as quickly as I can to the Jeep, and then I'm going to come over here, and I usually cut over to one side. Maybe I saw somebody or I've been told somebody's here. So maybe I cut Jeep this way and then I'm going to cut this way. Then, based on my weapons, this is going to determine the angle I'm going to go. If I have an in-your-face type weapon, I'm going to stick back here. Okay? If I have something I'm super confident with, like a stalker rifle, a sniper, maybe I have needles, something that's kind of mid-range, a toaster oven, whatever, then I'll go window and make a play for the flag. The reason I say that is because oftentimes as you push towards the flag, they're going to push backward behind their spawn or into their spawn, and then they're going to be just shooting straight at you, right? So if I don't have something that can shoot some distance, so if I come in here with, say, a hammer and they back out, how am I going to hit them with a hammer, right? So I need a pistol. I need a shock pistol. I need something. But again, if I have a hammer, I might go this way, right? I might come around the side and stay away from the window as much as I can. And again, if I have the right weapons, like a spanker, maybe I go through the window. So that being said, if I were to have, say, a grapple, my route is going to change. I'm going to run this way. I'm actually going to grapple slide off of the map. Because again, if somebody's set up over here, my grapple sliding off of the map, I do what's called a double slide. And if you haven't seen the equipment video, you got to go watch it. You got to watch the grapple slide because I actually initiate a slide into the grapple or as I'm grappling. I come out of that slide. I fly through the air. And then if I need to, which on this map I can't really make it all in one shot, I would be able to slide again. But what I can do is because I initiate a slide into the grapple, I actually gain a speed boost. And there are times that I can almost get all the way. And sometimes I'm able to actually hook a grapple near the window. It's actually usually right about there. I'll hook it. And then in my second grapple, so my first grapple, I'm off, I hook, I'm able to actually swing through this window really quickly on my second grapple. But again, the important thing is if let's say I'm grappling and as I'm grappling, I see somebody on this side, I have a spanker, I have something that I can raid with, whatever allows me to be on this side, a hammer, a sword, something like that, cinder shot even, ravager, something like that. So I'm off the map. I can easily pop up and get them. Now, the cool thing with the grapple on this map is let's say I grapple and allow myself to fall a little bit because maybe I see somebody there and I need maybe a little bit more time to react. Maybe they have a spanker. They shot one off. Maybe they shot two off, whatever. I'll get close to this wall and then I'll grapple up the wall and maybe try to engage whoever's here. I'll fall back down, then grapple up and over. So it costs me an extra grapple to do that. But if I'm able to eliminate this orange target, they're now one dead, maybe two dead if my team's doing their job. And then here I have an easy approach to a power position so that I can sit at a spawn, whether I'm here or here, and I can really wreak havoc with that spanker. Or again, if maybe three are dead, maybe I'm making a play for the flag. But oftentimes in this map, I try to stay away from mid because a lot of people, they think, oh, let's get that flag. If two are dead, they're immediately rushing in. They're not as safe of a player as I am. So they're just going to rush in. They're going to grab the flag. And again, in the clip, you will see that. So let's flash to those clips, or at least that clip.
Roots were not meant to fly!
Okay, so you saw I ran a quick route. I got in there. I got past their shield because I came through the window. So let's see what that looked like. So I got off. I came over here. I came through the window. There was a shield. Let's mark it in this cyan here. There was a shield somewhere about here. But I was able to shoot my rocket behind. Surprisingly, I didn't kill both of them. And that's kind of what cost me in this scene is 9 times out of 10, that rocket killed everybody, right? But for some reason it didn't. So a person got behind the shield. I had to switch to my hammer, which is slow. What I wanted to be able to do is get in there, shoot off the rockets, kill them, sit in front of the flag here. So let's make that in cyan. Sit in front of the flag while I reload because I know my team is coming as fast as they can because they saw me go off the map, 2 dead. They know, number one, I'm in trouble, but number two, it's clear, move up, right? So in my mind, I was like, oh, they're dead. I shouldn't have to deal. But again, I had to quick switch to my hammer. There was a delay. I killed him, and I end up getting killed, right? But again, had they all died, I would have stayed there, reloaded, because 3 would have been dead. And now I'm looking, where's that 4th? All I'm thinking is get 4 dead. Because if I can get 4 dead, we'll have at least 4 seconds before they spawn. Someone else can grab the flag. They can run with the flag. Here I am sitting, hopefully with at least one more rocket in the back pocket. And I have a hammer. So let's say I kill that 4th. We got 2 spawned over here. Then I can quickly make an exit to this window because I know they're coming over here. I'll get nice cover from this natural wall here. They can't see me. I can come in this way. I still have a grapple. Maybe I grapple through the window, get over here. Then I can spanker them from a power position. And again, I'll show you a clip of a power position, how powerful it can be, because we've already talked about where those power positions are. And from there, now I have a hammer plus grapples. I can run back and forth if I have to, raiding, or I can just, sit in one of their spawns. So again, unfortunately, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but it still did just fine. So again, let's switch to that power position so you see how important it can be just having one guy sitting right here.
Enemy flags and allied hands.
Captured. Double kill.
Atriox confused. Flesh seared. Just the way I like it. Our forces have seized the enemy flag.
Killing spree.
So something to keep in mind with routes is as you're moving from, say, here to there to here, you have to clear all the things around you. So let's just say, this is my pressure, which we talked about, but it's also, I need to clear this zone. So if I end up, if I'm running my route and I'm here, because I have a stalker, and I'm just going to check to make sure there's no snipers over here. If this game has been going on for a few minutes, there could be somebody sitting here or sitting over here. They could also be sitting back here. Maybe they're grappling on this side or coming through this side. I need to make sure I clear those the best I can, right? So I'm going to as I'm going forward, I might move myself to number 2 here so that I can take a quick look. I see nobody. Then maybe I swing around the back and I run to this pillar. As I'm running to this pillar, I'm looking here and I'm listening. Do I see or hear anybody in these zones? No. At the same time, as I'm running to that pillar, of course, I'm still looking across map. Now, because I can kind of peek, I'm looking in this zone here to try to give callouts. If I'm not seeing anybody, again, I'm going to take a position if I have a good weapon, maybe here, maybe this pillar. Maybe I sit kind of in the stairwell over here and I'm shooting. But again, it's really important as you go through your routes. So let's just say step 1, step 2, step 3, 3.5, because you don't want to sit here. Step 4, maybe step 5, step 6, or step 7, because again, 4 is 3.5. You have to clear those zones. Is anybody in here? Is anybody in here? Do I hear or see anything? Do I see anything? Do I hear anything? If you're mid with Jeep, you can see the whole map. You need to be giving callouts. When you're here, you got to check this corner. You got to check around these corners. You don't know where they're standing. You don't know where they're hiding. They could be sitting in a window. As you come over to 6, you have to make sure you're checking around everything. As you come over to 7 here, by now you've cleared. All you have to look at is this way. You don't have to worry about window too much. Again, hopefully your team is somewhere in this zone, moving towards the flag, keeping you covered. But if turns out, let's say a spanker takes out 3 of your teammates and someone isn't calling out, but you watch your kill feed and it says, hey, 3 of my teammates are dead. Now you may want to back out of this power position so that you can, say you were here. If you get 3 dead, you may want to back out to a more safe position so you can watch this window, right? You can still watch people coming from here. You're still a nuisance. You're waiting for your team, but you're sitting in here And that's going to apply pressure. They're going to feel this all the way. Let's go more magenta. They're going to feel this pressure all the way to the flag because they don't quite know where you are if you're sitting in this purple circle here. But if they try peeking out this way, they're dead. If they try to come at you this way, people are shooting this way. They may try to come through this blue box here, but you're sitting in this purple. You're looking this way. You're looking that way. As your team moves up kind of into this space here, now you can reapply pressure and go back to that one position so that you have that power position. So again, when you're running your routes, you have to clear as much as you possibly can because people get sneaky, people get in there. And I have a tendency sometimes when I come across on this map, let's say I get to here, I might sit there for 10 seconds before I do anything. Because if they didn't see me grapple and I can wait 5, 10 seconds, and as that team maybe even starts coming this way, maybe we have some in here and they're over here, this person has no idea I'm there as they walk in here because I'm sitting right here. All of a sudden, I get the jump on them. They're dead. They have one kill. If they don't have mics and my teammates are, one at Jeep, one here, maybe one sniping from over there, these guys are preoccupied. They're not paying attention to one. One just died. Now here I am. I can clear a window. As I go window, number 2 and number 3 in red, I can kill them. I can get the jump on 2. He's dead. Well, 3 is going to turn around. Usually if 3 turns around, 4 is going to turn because they know something's going on. They're going to start heading window. My teammates should be moving up. Hopefully none of them are dead, but usually at least one of them are dead. And maybe they can take out 3 as it's turning. I'm going to be making a play for this flag unless somebody says, hey, someone's in the window. But again, my team is rushing toward. By the time I'm actually through this window, kill 2, move on to the flag, 4 is turning around, right? My team should be, storming the gates, right? They should be somewhere in this ballpark, in this zone here. I'm somewhere over here. Even if a red comes through this, and let's say they get me, right? Let's say they kill me. Number 4 here. Let's say they kill me. Well, my teammate, number 2, is going to kill number 1. They're going to grab the flag. We're still 2 or 3 seconds away from these spawns. So 2 can grab that flag. Hopefully has something that they can run the flag with. 1 might come step in. 3 might come this way looking for a power position, where 1 might come into the window and sit. Now, something we haven't talked about are these portals here. So these portals on either side of the base, if you hit one and it's like right outside of your spawn, it immediately brings you to the center one. So if you, let's say, spawn over here and you have someone that you know is pulling flag or they did pull flag, if you're okay sacrificing your life, which in this situation you might need to, you run for this portal, you'll immediately pop out here and you can start shooting this way. But again, I say this, it's a predictable move. And because it's a predictable move, we put that shield right here. You spawn, right? You're nervous, you're anxious. You run to that portal. You get shot to this portal. Oh no, they're shooting me. Yeah, that's right. Because here we are, sitting behind a shield, and you're exposed. Chances are you don't have the right weapon to be charging us. You're charging us because you get nervous, because one of your opponents has the flag and they're running this way. And instead of going to that portal, if you have a long range, maybe you cut this way. Yes, I know these guys here are still menacing, but if they don't step forward because they have a shield to see the spawns, they don't necessarily know you spawned here. And again, we don't know where the 4th man is. Hopefully the 4th man's over there when we're pulling this. The 4th man's here. We need to eliminate that. But if no one's there, we can run through this window. We can shoot this way. Because again, they're looking the wrong way. They're going to be looking this way. If you can come behind them and kill them, great. Sometimes it's okay to let the other team get a flag, even if let's say it's 0-0 or even 1-1. Sometimes letting them get the flag, they get way over here. If you can eliminate all of the other 3 teammates on their team, you now have somebody who just ran the flag. Chances are they used all of their equipment to do so. They're back here. You've eliminated everybody. Let's say you're only 3 up. You're 1, 2, 3. You can get across map before they start spawning. Now the tables have turned, right? As our 4th man spawns somewhere in here, we're cutting these angles. We're trying to take these power positions. Maybe we're not running down mid. We'll let them do that. But again, they're down to 1. We have 3. Our shields are recharging as we come back. And again, sometimes it's okay to let a flag go so that you can take a better position so that you can win the game. It's not about who got the first flag or even the second flag. Sometimes it can be pretty scary to just let the second flag go because you know it means if they get one more, it's over. But sometimes it's a gamble you need to take so your team can get a better position, especially if one of you's got a spanker, one of you's got a shield. You guys can turn the tables pretty quickly. Hey guys, now we're going to talk about equipment. So we talked about some of the brief overview, some of the routes that I like to take. Now let's try to be as much of a menace as we can. And as you know, with the routes, we're thinking grapple for a lot of that, thrusters for a lot of that. Now we're going to talk about shields and where I would want to put them as I'm trying to fight my way to the flag. So most people, they're going to spawn here. They're going to put the shield maybe right here in the center, and they're going to tuck back and they're going to shoot. Problem with that is, as people are bombing in, that shield's not going to last very long. So if we're sitting up here, let's say, maybe I'm going to put the shield here so that I can maybe snipe over to the side over here if I feel like my team has got it over here. Right? So I'm thinking window. I'm also thinking maybe I'm going to put one right here because I have this natural cover here with this wall in case my shield just disintegrates. I can kind of tuck over here. I can shoot. As I'm making my way through this route, maybe I'm going to put one right here, again, to increase the width of where I can play, especially if we have a spawner over here at the same time. And of course, there's going to be people coming from that direction. I don't have a tendency to put my shield next to the Jeep because, again, it's just going to die so fast. And the Jeep, you're so exposed way back here. But I may put the shield here, right in front of their base because I know they're coming from this way. I can kind of tuck behind here and shoot this way a little bit. I can watch over here. If I know I'm about to try to attack over here and maybe there's a needler or a hammer or something, I might put it right here so I can block. We know with our routes, I'm trying to cut an angle here. So I might put the shield right here, right, and shoot over this way because now I'm guarded over here. Even if they spawn from here, they have to come all the way around my shield or through my shield to come at me. Granted, if they have grapple, they might come over the wall. But if they're coming over the wall, that's pretty easy to spot. Maybe retreat back. I can be here, and I can shoot them as they come. I may, if I'm tucked here, thinking about this spawn, because maybe a teammate's over here. Maybe the flag just
right
got
here.
taken. Maybe I would put the shield right here so I can tuck back here. I don't have to worry about watching my back. But it does prevent any, skewers or bombers or cinder shots or rockets coming from that direction as I'm over here and as I'm shooting in. Now, I may also slide in, whether I grab the flag or not. I might throw a shield right here because if I'm grabbing the flag, gives me a little bit of cover. But if, let's say, a teammate grabs the flag, I'm going to make a stand right here to try to keep all of the spawns back. And again, I'm basically throwing away my life in this situation. I'm going to try to keep all the spawners back just to buy enough time for that flag carrier to possibly get past mid. If they get past mid and over this Jeep, we usually can relay it in. And again, you're going to have spawners coming from either side, even though I might be standing here. As people get better at playing, they realize I'm just a diversion, I'm just a distraction. They're going to try to slip past this way or this way, right? And try to maybe sneak through the window and get me over here. They're going to try to maybe sneak through the window and shoot this way, even though I'm facing the other way. Again, they're going to make different plays in order to get that flag. But again, I might put it here. Now, as I'm, say, running this flag, I might drop one like right here. Because now, if they're trying to bomb or they're trying to shoot through, they have this barrier that's taller than they are. They have to either come up here and start shooting at me, or they have to somehow come over here. And again, they're exposing themselves by putting the shield here. So sometimes the shield isn't just to protect you, it's to help do some crowd work and crowd control to make them go where you want them to go. So this map, it's all about information. If I can see through the walls, huge information. If I can mark something, it gives my team information. So as I'm running my route and I'm checking my angles, right? So I'm coming through here, I'm checking, we're good, yep, we're good, I'm checking, yep, okay. If I want to throw a threat sensor, I'm going to throw it up on this wall. So if we quickly go over there, you'll see why. it's creating a barrier where if they come up this ramp, if they come even from their window, let's say they come from behind, come through the window this way, when I'm sitting over there, I get to see them ping. I can almost see all the way to their flag. Now, if nobody's there, I can tell my team, no one's on the left of their base. They might be in the back, they might be in the right. So again, if I have threat sensors, I can't really get across the map too fast. So, maybe I'm checking, maybe I'm running this way. If the threat sensor over there didn't give us any information, maybe I'll peg one here, but I usually am going to try to peg it more towards the middle of the map. Because number one, it clears this window here, because I just saw no one was in there. But now I can see everything up into this flag. My whole team can see this. Look at this perimeter I can see. We can instantly see if someone's coming up through this window. And if there's still nobody, let's say 2 are dead, 3 are dead, or whatever, we know there's somewhere back here. So again, I'm back here. Right? Maybe I shot that one from Jeep. I put it right about there. Nobody's here. Well, I might cut this angle, and then I'm going to peg one over there somewhere. Right? So I pegged it right in the middle. Because, again, I don't know if somebody's hiding here. I need to be checking my sights because I'm trying to run my route. Right? So I came this way. I didn't see anybody because I'm also looking at my motion sensor in the lower left. If nobody's there, I throw that there. As I throw it there, I'm going to look here because somebody might be sitting here. And if they're just sitting there, my threat sensor in the corner here isn't going to see them. So I peg it. I'm over here. I'm covered. Nobody's there. I see nobody's there. I'm making a play to my power position. Then I maybe throw one way back there in their spawn so that my team has more information. Because I'm sitting here guarding this spawn. I can watch people spawning over there. I can't really see over there. But if I have a threat sensor marked over there, holy cow, my whole team knows where everybody is. I can see, okay, they're going to make a play for me this way. I can see them on my threat sensor as they're coming back over here. So again, you're using it to help you clear around corners. Because if you have, say, a thruster, you have to manually look, come this way, look, come this way, look. Because you don't want to skip a step. So let's say someone's sitting there. You come down this ramp. You're not looking. You only look there. They get the jump on you, right? So again, the threat sensor can also help you clear a room a little bit faster, clear an area. And as I'm moving this way, anybody around here will be known as I'm moving this way. So again, oh, hello, I killed myself. Putting a threat sensor in that edge is so crucial. So again, as I'm clearing, I'd put it somewhere here, right? I put it somewhere in there. We're good. I pick that pillar, throwing it over there. Nobody's around that corner. I can take this power position. Granted, again, this is my base, but I see nobody's in there because that's another place that if someone knows that I'm coming, they might sit here as a power position to come out and challenge me, right? And we don't want them challenging me if I can't see them. So then I get over here. Nobody's over there, but I see somebody over there. I throw a threat sensor over and actually hit something. There we go. So I could see, yep, okay, we're good. I'm here, fighting. Maybe I take this portal because I know someone's over there. Nobody's alive. I'm going to grab that flag and I'm gone, assuming my teammate isn't already doing that. All right, let's talk about grapples. So I'm going to show you a quick route using grapples. So I'm off the edge here. I can jump. I can hit the wall. Maybe I'm battling here like we talked about. I can hit this window. I'm in. And grab that flag. I could be grapple sliding. Hopefully you've practiced that. Doing it terribly on camera. And I can get it in. Another cool thing about grapple is we can go up this pillar here, right? So up here, I can certainly attack, but I don't have that great of a vantage point. But if I grapple and clamber, I'm up a little bit higher. Now, this isn't a spot you want to sit for long because all I can see is just one spawn. But if it's, opening strategy, I have grapples. I'm not jumping off because maybe all I have is a stalker and I have nothing really good in my back pocket. Maybe I'm sitting up here for a second. I can go window. I can kind of tuck over here. I can just take all these pillars and maybe I'm coming center here as I'm fighting through this map. You can sit up here if you need to for 7 seconds, 5, right? Another thing I really like to do is going under the map.
You fly with no
So I can come
jump
way up
pad.
here. Maybe I'm through here. I'm in. Grab that flag. Gone. And again, hopefully you already know how to grapple a flag, right? In case it gets away from you when you're talking on camera.
Flag.
But again, you
Capture.
can go under the map. You can certainly come up here. But again, you're so exposed up here, it's not great. I like to use the grapples again when I'm fighting. That's kind of a different video of how to use that for fighting. And I did a whole video about the equipment, and if you haven't seen that yet, go back and check that out, because you'll also see how you can use thrusters a little differently than maybe you're used to. But the cool thing about clambering up here is if they spawn right there, they can't do much, right? They can kind of see over this ledge, but I could throw grenades. If I had Cinder Shot, I could do that, right? It can make it really problematic for them if I'm sitting up here. Again, this actually turns into a pretty good power position while I'm sitting up here. You're very exposed. If someone steps out with a spanker, you're dead, right? But you can always come back, grab, and you're gone. And they had no idea you were there, or maybe they did, but you still got away with it. So again, sometimes routes, you need to take a little bit of a break. You get there, you hold that position for a few seconds, maybe you clamber up there, doing whatever. They don't remember that you're there, and you're good to go. Another key feature people forget about, and again, as you're learning to practice with your juggling of your flag, and it's a video that I'll be covering in the future, at least more in depth, but let's say you grab the flag and you're out of grapples, right? It's pretty tough to get home, but what's interesting is the way these boxes are set up, you can actually curb slide off of everything and kind of skip your way home. So we can grab the flag, right? We're up. We have to initiate sprint. We can slide, jump. We can slide extra far. We just have to clip the edge. Especially if we know somebody's coming for us, right? We can change our angle, and it's really important that we make it hard for a sniper to predict where we're going to go. So if you're on the Jeep, you clip it quick, and then you're gone, you get to tuck behind these boxes. So you have the flag, you throw it, you curb slide off, you throw it, you curb slide off, you grab it, throw, curb slide. Again, it's not as fast, but you can get some speed when you're juggling this flag. And again, always know how to grapple a flag. But again, you can move around a little bit quicker that way. Or if, let's say I'm up here, maybe I'm going to G-slide into a shot, right? Maybe I'll G-slide this way into a shot as I'm trying to maneuver. Because again, that little extra burst you get from falling off the ledge, holding crouch, and going, it can save your life, right? As I'm in this fight here, maybe I'm coming down this ledge, and I get this extra drop, this extra speed, and I can get all the way into their base, where if I didn't have that, this is as far as I can go, right? So I'm running. It takes me a while to get over there. But again, if I know my teammate just grabbed the flag, I'm shooting in, bop, bop, bop. I can tuck behind here. And again, I covered so much distance that they can't get me. So again, curb sliding is not only great for that flag, but again, so I know my teammate grabbed it, I'm here, I'm tucked in back over here, and I can get to this power position a little quicker. Maybe I make their life miserable and I sit up here, sitting at this ledge. So there you have it, guys. We talked about the formation map, how to dominate it, an overview, where to tuck, where to shoot from, different routes. We talked about power positions, different strategies for using different equipment, where to put a shield, grapples, everything like that. If you guys got anything out of this video, please like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps motivate me to keep putting out this content because this video did take some time. If you guys have any questions or follow-ups or, hey, what about this situation, or maybe I did something wrong, please leave a comment down below. I want to put out the best content I possibly can, and I need your guys' help in order to do that. So until next time, guys, thank you. I'll see you then.